Welcome to our Work Integrated Learning project, where we'll be exploring a variety of systemic issues that impede on women's career growth. While these systemic issues do exist, there are a number of things that organizations can do to help battle these issues and propel female leadership. There are also a number of things that women themselves can do to help boost their own career growths. And we will be exploring all of this further.
Let's get into the first problem that leads to the gender inequalities in the workplace, and that is implicit biases towards women's ability to become leaders and the gender differences in personalities. So, as mentioned in the paper, a study done with the Gender Leader Implicit Association test was shown that 80% of test participants were biased. And in other words, automatic associations between supporter and female and between leader and male were often made by those who are biased, which contributes to differences and biases in exchange between men and women, especially during salary negotiations. And on the personality side, studies have shown that women scored higher than men in agreeableness, which is generally a personality trait largely associated with being sympathetic, conforming, and cooperative, which contributes to women's lower willingness to negotiate. So this is why we're proposing two different solutions to tackle both of these problems. First, organizations should put more effort into hosting anti-gender bias training to decrease people's tendencies to judge someone based on stereotypes, right? Making sure that people know these sorts of implicit biases that actually exist, and that it's everyone's job to make others feel comfortable to kind of express themselves freely, whether it be about promotions or salary negotiations. And second, negotiation workshops should also be hosted by the organization to promote the use of proven frameworks to kind of maximize the value of a negotiation, such as the value creation framework. So by doing both on a regular basis, men and women can educate themselves and work together to promote a more equal workplace with continuous effectiveness, which would increase overall job satisfaction and organizational belongingness.
In principle, balancing work and family life should be equally complex for men and women, but our implicit bias makes us think that women are the primary responders for family life issues. As a result, supervisors also believe that women are less capable than men when it comes to balancing the dual roles, which leads to women putting less emphasis on work when they realize that opportunities for career development have become diminished, and more emphasis on family life. It's a self-fulfilling cycle of defeat. Women are aware of others' expectations of failure due solely to their gender and fear proving these stereotypes correct, which leads to raised anxiety, lower levels of self-confidence, and lower performance. Organizations can combat this issue directly by informing employees of evidence of implicit bias found by behavioral scientists and by setting specific targets and monitoring that progress. For example, organizations should develop objective criteria for employment, wages, and promotions instead of relying on subjective criteria like first impressions. Organizations can also deal with this issue indirectly by making the workplace more family-friendly, which benefits everybody. This combination of work and family life includes the introduction of flex time scheduling and support for childcare. This will encourage employees to support each other in balancing work and family life.
Furthermore, the lack of resources offered by organizations is a contributing problem. An option for organizations are to offer extended childcare subsidies. This policy promotes an increase in parental employment and work hours. It is shown that lower childcare costs through subsidized care and free or reduced out-of-pocket costs are shown to positively impact a mother's labor force participation effective immediately. A 10% reduction in cost can lead to a 0.25 to 11% increase in maternal employment. This crucial resource will allow families to recover a substantial expected expense. Secondly, organizations must broaden its concept of flex time. Parenthood is a lifelong role. Organizations must allow employees to choose flex time schedules without being penalized by being pushed to a lower position or rewarded less financially. While logging in their respective employee hours, an effective strategy is to offer alternating workdays between couples, including weekends, and a daily need-based scheduling, allowing childcare duties to be attended throughout the day while accommodating to meetings and deadlines.
A number of studies have found that the more females in leadership positions propels the chances of females getting into leadership positions. Now, this can largely be explained due to the social identity theory, which states people favor similar people, and gender is a similarity. The issue with this is that there are too few females in leadership positions to take advantage of a gender-based similarity or in-group. Rather, females must look at other similarity facets, such as hobbies. One hobby, for instance, is the game of golf, and a study has actually shown that female golfers are 116% more likely to serve on boards of directors of large firms than non-female golfers. The issue with this is that golf may not be feasible or desirable for many women. To help females get into those leadership in-groups, HP-WIN can create programs which promote informal bonds to be created between females and leaders in an organization. Some of these programs during COVID-19, for instance, can include online checkers tournaments, which allow for plenty of conversation to be had and similarities to be found. Some programs HP-WIN can host or sponsor post-COVID-19 can be escape room outings, billiards nights, or pottery workshops, which allow for plenty of conversation to occur and similarities to be found, allowing for females to get into those leadership in-groups.
So another problem related to implicit bias on women can be seen at home. With the closures of schools and daycares due to COVID-19, working mothers find themselves needing to work remotely and still do all their childcare at the same time. Even if their spouses are working remotely, a survey has found that women still do all or most of the childcare responsibilities. This has led to high levels of stress in working mothers that negatively affect both parents' work performance because of the increased marital tensions. The best strategy the survey found to solve this problem was using an alternating workday strategy. Women are recommended to use flex time to stagger their weekends so that they can have at least 2 days of the week where their spouses take care of the children and then they can focus on work. Their own weekends will be focused on home while their husbands work. On days where they both have to work, they should adopt a daily need-based strategy where home duties are shared as needed between them based on meetings and deadlines. The goal of these two strategies is essentially to decrease the number of mothers who have to do both work and all the household responsibilities. This will help them protect their careers, as extended leaves are shown to hinder advancement. Women re-entering the workforce after extended leave return with lower positions and smaller salaries from when they left due to skill erosion. HP-WIN can make this possible through flex time scheduling and encouraging working mothers to adopt these two strategies.
One of the biggest barriers facing women's career progressions today is a lack of resources for skills development. From a study conducted by Deloitte in 2020, 26% of women felt like their workplace has a lack of formal mentorship programs, and 22% replied that they felt like they lacked the required skills for desired careers. This is troubling because in the same survey, 32% of women plan to stay within their organizations and for the next 2 to 5 years, and 30% would want to stay for more. If these lack of resources are not addressed, it may lead women to leave the organization faster in the short term. While HP does have formalized mentorship programs, studies have shown that there are still systematic biases within them. A study by Reagans and Kahn revealed that women received less coaching and social interactions from mentors than men did in formal programs compared to informal mentors. Formal mentorships is also confined by processes that limit the scope of development, such as contracted goal setting, time limits, and specified expectations, which hinder creative, safe, and personal relationships and ultimately negatively impact the protege. While these are systematic issues that also need to be addressed, women need to be proactive to ensure they have the ability to seize opportunities that are presented. That is why we are recommending women seek out informal mentorships. Informal mentoring is based off of interpersonal liking and interest as a basis for selection, which will have a higher level of commitment between mentor and protege. In addition, it is not confined by administrative practices, giving it more freedom. However, that also means that there is a lack of explicit framework, which would mean that more communication is required initially to define boundaries and expectations of the mentorship. Women also face greater difficulty finding informal mentors due to possible misinterpretations of their requests from male coworkers. That's why we recommend women seek out informal mentorships from other females.
In conclusion, organizations must take an active role in making sure that everyone works together to promote gender equality in the workplace. Providing educational resources and additional benefits to individuals should show that women have the organizational support and individual capabilities to further progress their careers during and after the pandemic. Thank you for watching our presentation.